What's up, folks? Permanent Patriot here. We're over on Educate Yourself, 21 Goals of the Illuminati. And again, educateyourself.org if you want to check out any of these topics. You can see how many topics there are here. So, topics I talk about every day, topics I try to educate people on. Specific ones I'm talking about today, though. Verbiage, understanding, concentrate, stuff like that. As you can see, there's a hell of a lot of them to go through. I just wanted to, there's thousands of these to go through. 21 Goals of the Illuminati and the Committee of 300. If you don't know what the Committee of 300 is, it's pretty much the head honchos of the elites who really control our world and control what's going on. Let's take a look at the first one. To establish a one world government. New world order with a unified church and monetary system under their direction. The one world government began to set up its church in the 1920s and 30s. They realized the need for a religious belief inherent in mankind must have an outlet, and therefore set up a church body to channel that belief in the direction they desired. If you folks don't know what a 501c3 is, that's basically an organization, non-profit organization, which is a church in particular, that basically lets you get money, which is supposed to be non-for-profit, but it's basically letting you get money, i.e. church, or to just basically hand money over to you. It might as well be a mob business saying, hey, let us protect your business and you pay us money, or else you won't have a business. So that's pretty much what a 501c3 is. The main majority of them are churches. So ask yourself why churches are not being taxed. And that will give you a good hint of what a evangelical church is. So, okay, you're a non-for-profit. Why are you collecting money every fucking day of the week? Okay? So that's pretty much what that is. Number 2, to bring about an utter destruction of all national identity and national pride, which was a primary consideration if the concept of a one world government was to work, which you're trying to install right now. If you folks never heard of Agenda 21, I highly suggest you go and look that up. I've done at least half a dozen videos on Agenda 21. And people are catching on to that so much, they began to change it now. It's called Agenda 2030. Many different numbers and different names and stuff like that, as well as they used to put aspartame in Coca-Cola and other food products. They know people have caught on to that, and so they changed the name many times. I'll be getting into that in another video with GMOs and whatnot. Number 3, to engineer and bring about the destruction of religion, and more especially the Christian religion, with the one expectation, their own creation, as mentioned above, unified church and monetary system. Okay, so if you folks have not heard of clergy response teams, again, another video, which I've done several times and will be doing more of. 501c3s, tax exempt organizations who are basically getting free money to support whatever cause that they want to support. One world religion turns to one world government, which in essence is one world order, a new world order. Much of this based against the Christian religion or any religion. It doesn't matter what religion you are. Again, one world government. I know I'm forgetting a lot here, but a lot of this is all, the first 3 right there, is all set up to basically make a road for a new world order, one world government. I'm not going to say one person controlling the entire world, but that's pretty much what it is. If anybody out there knows about the Illuminati or the New World Order, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And which brings me to number 4, to establish the ability to control of each and every person through means of mind control and what Zbigniew Brzezinski called technotronics, which would create human-like robots and a system of terror which would make Felix D. Brzezinski's Red Terror look like children at play. And if you think that's a joke, you obviously have not done your research. I've done several videos on CIA mind control and DARPA. If you don't know what DARPA is, Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. You can call me crazy after you go and watch those videos and go and see what DARPA is doing as far as their projects. And then you can call me crazy. As the saying goes, people sound crazy when telling what the crazy are doing. I'm not going to go through all of these. Obviously, there's dozens and dozens of them. Just go to the next one. To bring about the end to all industrialization and to an end the production of nuclear and generated electric power in what they call the post-industrial zero growth society. And folks, all of these things in red, you can just go and click on them and they'll bring you right to exactly what I'm talking about. Expected are the computer and service industries, U.S. industries that remain, and it's not just U.S. either, will be exported to countries such as Mexico and others where abundant slave labor is available. As we saw in 1993, this has become a fact through the passage of NAFTA. Unemployables in the U.S. in the wake of industrial destruction will either become opium, heroin, and or cocaine addicts or become statistics in the elimination of the excess population process we know today as Global 2000. And what that basically means is the depopulation of the world. If you folks haven't read the Georgia Guidestones, which again, I've done several videos on, Agenda 21, which I've done several videos on, you might want to go and look those up, because they are zero fucking joke and 100% fact. And if you don't know who Zbigniew Brzezinski is, then you have absolutely no clue what the fuck is going on in the world today. You're obviously watching too many sports which are fixed. If you think they're paying these people to get paid $48 million to catch a fucking ball, and just for that reason only, you're sadly mistaken. Number 6, to encourage and eventually legalize the use of drugs and make pornography an art form which will be widely accepted and eventually become quite complacent. It says commonplace, but complacent. I know many people in the porn industry, sorry to say, but let's face it, it is what it is, and we're all engaged in that in one form or another. Okay, I have a sister involved in that, but it's a side story just to let you guys know that I'm not on one side of the fence or the other. And once you start getting into stuff like that, it starts to become a form of bestiality. Okay, sodomizing. And it's just something I will touch on in other videos. All of these topics are something I will touch on eventually, and if I haven't already. I'm just going through a few of them here. There's about 60 of them. Way more, actually more than that even. But I'm just trying to show you how all of these tie in together. And again, just like I said, number 7, to bring about depopulation of large cities, according to the trial run carried out by the Pol Pot regime in Cambodia, which Pol Pot was placed in power by the United States government after we overthrew that country. And the United States has overthrown at least, and the CIA will even admit this, the United States government has overthrown at least 57 countries. I think it's way more than that, because we've invaded at least over 100 countries. Okay? And you can go and look that up for yourself. It's very easy to find. It's interesting to note that Pol Pot's genocidal plans were drawn up in the U.S. by one of the Club of Rome's research foundations and overseen by Thomas Enders, a high-ranking State Department official. It's also interesting that the committee is currently seeking to reinstate the Pol Pot butchers in Cambodia. If you don't know who the Club of Rome is, let's put it this way. If you think that you know who the New World Order is and who the top head honchos are, like the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds. The Club of Rome is way above them. And there's people way above the Club of Rome. When you talk about Club of Rome, I can mention, people like George W. Bush, all the presidents. Skull and Bones, have you ever heard of them? Might want to go and look into them. And I think this is the final one that, I mean, I can go on for days with this, but I think I'm just going to make number 8 the last one for this video. To suppress all scientific development except for those deemed beneficial by the Illuminati. Especially targeted is nuclear energy for peaceful purposes. Particularly hated are the fusion experiments, currently being scorned and ridiculed by the Illuminati and its jackals of the press. Development of the fusion torch, might want to go and look that one up, fusion torch, would blow the Illuminati's conception of limited natural resources right out of the window. And it says right here, okay, a fusion torch properly used could create unlimited and as yet untapped natural resources, even from the most ordinary substances. Fusion torch uses are legion and would benefit mankind in a manner which as yet is not even remotely comprehended by the public. If you folks know anything about Nikola Tesla, back in the 1930s, he already had free energy planned out for the entire world. He knew how to do it, he knew how to make it, and he did make it. He built a tower proving that it could be done. And the FBI and many other people, Illuminati people, that I'm not even going to go into right now because it'll run the video even longer. I will get into it in another war. Yeah, another video. They fucking killed him because of it. And when they killed him, the FBI stole well over 1,000 of his inventions, including shit on radio, shit on cell phones, shit on television. As a matter of fact, any electronic device you are using today, you can thank Nikola Tesla for it. They put all this technology at a time of their choosing, when they want you to be ready for it, when they feel that you're ready for it. Because the big idea is to make the most amount of money out of what they're getting from you, i.e., gas, electronics, you name it, whatever. When we could have had all of this free energy years ago. If you haven't seen the video I've done on solar powered roads and solar vehicles, Just go to Permanent Patriot on YouTube, Permanent Patriot on Facebook, and you can see all the videos that I've done. There have been several attempts in recent years to bring about the use of free energy. For instance, here's a good one. Putting the power lines underground instead of above ground on telephone poles. Hello, that would be major in cases of windstorms and snowstorms, rainstorms, lightning strikes, car accidents, hitting telephone poles, and so which is again number 5, the post-industrial zero growth society, or end the production of nuclear generated electric power. I mean, the people who run this stuff, again, go and look at NAFTA, North American Free Trade Agreement. These are some sick fucking people that run the planet. And they're running it for one reason and one reason only. Money, 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 money. They could care less about you. They could care less about your future. They could care less about your kids. They could care less about themselves. All they want is fucking money. They're fucking demons. And we'll get into that, which I've already done in several videos already. Okay? Targeted is nuclear energy for peaceful purposes. Folks, we did not have nuclear energy in the 1920s and 30s. So ask yourself, how did Nikola Tesla come up with all of this shit? And the answer is, he came up with it because it was already there. He created it. He created thousands of fucking inventions that are out today. They just didn't come out with them until they wanted to come out with them in order to gain the most amount of money possible before they moved on to the next topic. You don't think they've had fucking flying cars? You don't think they have, folks, they had televisions and cell phones in the fucking 1930s and 40s. If you go to this page here, I'm going to do, with the number of videos that are on here, I'm going to do about probably 10 videos on this page alone. And if you think I'm fucking kidding, do some of your own research. Go to Permanent Patriot on YouTube. I got a few channels on there. Fighters of the Founders on YouTube. Same thing with both on Facebook. Hundreds of pages that you can go to and look up for yourself, including this one. And it will just blow your mind. If you don't know what technotronics are, or who Zbigniew Brzezinski is, it's time to snap out of it. And I haven't even gotten to the good one yet about FEMA. I'll just, I really don't want to get into it, but I'll just read it for you quick. Number 8, to suppress all scientific development except for those deemed beneficial by the Illuminati. Okay. Number 9, to cause by means of a limited wars in the advanced countries. B, by means of starvation and diseases in the third world countries, which we're doing now. The death of 3 billion people by the year 2050. And if you think that's a joke, you can just go and look at the Georgia Guidestones. Just type that into your little search engine there. People they call useless eaters. The Committee of 300, which is the Illuminati, commissioned Cyrus Vance to write a paper on this subject of how to bring about such genocide. And it's through GMOs in your food, fluoride in your water, chemicals in your sky and air, chemtrails, geoengineering, solar radiation management, climate engineering. The paper was produced under the title Global 2000 Report and was accepted and approved for action by former President James Carter. That's right, Jimmy Carter. Under the terms of the Global 2000 Report, the population of the U.S. is to be reduced by 100 million by the year of 2050. And folks, 100 million. There's 330 million people in this country right now in September of 2018. Okay? And again, you might want to go and read the number 1 item on the list of the Georgia Guidestones to keep population globally under 500 million people. There's currently over 7 billion. So think about how they're going to do this quietly without alarming the citizens. GMOs, fluoride, chemtrails. Okay? So snap the fuck out of it already. They're poisoning your food. They're poisoning your water. They're poisoning your air. This is not a fucking joke. It's a sick fucking game they're playing. Number 10, to weaken the moral fiber of the nations and to demoralize workers in the labor class by creating mass unemployment, i.e. fucking robots. They're already doing it in Japan and in China. If you think you're going to make $15, $20 an hour working at fucking McDonald's flipping burgers, I got news for you. It's too late. They're already doing it. As jobs dwindle due to the post-industrial zero growth policies introduced by the Club of Rome, the Illuminati, the report emphasizes demoralized and discouraged workers resorting to alcohol and drugs. Again, another way to fucking eliminate people. Make you subhuman pieces of fucking shit living on the side of the road, can't pay your rent, can't get a job because you're too fucking high on drugs and shit. The youth of the land will be encouraged by means of rock music and drugs to rebel against the status quo, thus undermining and eventually destroying the family unit. Agenda 21. In this regard, the committee commissioned Tavistock Institute to prepare a blueprint as to how this could be achieved. Tavistock director Stanford Research to undertake the work under the direction of Professor Willis Harman. If you don't know who he is, later became known as the Aquarian Conspiracy. Go ahead and take a look at those and see how much I'm fucking kidding. Okay? That's just 10. Not even half of the 21 goals of the Illuminati and how they plan on making this a one world government. The whole entire world, one world government. So do your research. Stay tuned. If you thought that was deep, I'll be getting a hell of a lot deeper into this shit. You haven't seen nothing yet. Check out my videos on Permanent Patriot on YouTube, Fighters of the Founders on YouTube, and Permanent Patriot on Facebook. Permanent Patriot all over the place. I got dozens of pages. Fighters of the Founders, dozens of pages. Check me out, Chad Taylor, on Facebook if you could find the right one, because that's what hacking's all about. That's why I got a dozen of them. And stay tuned, because I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. And that's why I'm put on this fucking planet for. And nothing or nobody is going to fucking stop me. That's it for now. God bless and carry on.